It must be remembered that the Democrats are the radical ones on this position because they support abortion up to and even beyond the 9th month. The concept of having an abortion in the later months and even execution after birth, and that's exactly what it is. The baby is born, the baby is executed after birth, is unacceptable, and almost everyone agrees with that.
Now, the only thing that's accurate about the insane statement you just heard from Donald Trump is that he is correct that most people agree executing babies is bad. Now,
well, okay, low bar.
Okay. Good thing it's not actually happening, despite the fear-mongering that you might hear from conservatives on the matter. We'll get to that in just a moment. But we're gonna hear how Trump believes that abortion policy should be handled on a state level. And in his statement, he managed to upset members of both sides of the political aisle, which is fun. Love to hear it. First, we have to disprove the claim, though, that abortions are taking place after the 9th month of pregnancy, which means that the baby is born and it is thus a living, breathing, viable human being, and aborting it would mean killing it, murdering it, and that's a crime. In most states, I don't know about some blue cities, but nonetheless, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, although I don't know. Now, let's get to this. So look, again, killing a baby after it's born is considered murder, okay? Abortion is literally defined as the deliberate termination of a pregnancy. A pregnancy is when a fetus is inside the body of the woman, inside the womb of the woman, okay? A baby that is born is a baby, not a pregnancy.
Yeah, look, you gotta explain it in a simple language because a lot of right-wingers really do believe this. They believe it with all their heart. They say, Governor Northman or whatever his name is. I don't think I got that right. Anyway, in Virginia, and on a radio show, they asked him, and he said something about after the delivery. We got you, oh, they all do it. They're killing the babies afterwards. Guys, look.
It's murder, it's murder.
Yeah,
that's not happening. That is not happening.
It's happened a total of 0 times in the country, 0. Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's gonna make all the difference and keep us in business. We appreciate you, thank you. So look, you watch this show over an extended period of time, you see us constantly saying, no, wait, the Democrats aren't right about this. Even the left is not right about this. And Trump, by the way, the bloodbath comment recently as one of hundreds of examples. He said it in an economic context. He didn't say it in a violent context. We're fair and honest on this show.
In fact, let me be clear about something, okay? So after Lance from the Serfs went on Tim Pool's show and embarrassed himself by basically saying that late-term abortions of healthy fetuses and healthy pregnancies should be allowed to be aborted, I spoke out against that. I'm not in favor of that. If it is a healthy pregnancy and it's late term, an abortion should not happen. Every American, with the exception of Lance from the Serfs, although he's not American, he's Canadian, feels that way, okay? The only time that late term abortions happen is when the pregnancy is a threat to the mother's life, or if there are severe abnormalities with the fetus, thus making it unviable, an unviable pregnancy. Yeah. Let's be very clear about that.
So let me just clarify the timing here. 0 to 24 weeks is the area in which the debate is happening.
Yes.
When should abortion be allowed and not allowed? In the last trimester, past the 24 weeks, Roe did not allow abortions, generally speaking, except for what Anna mentioned. The life of the baby or the mom is in danger or the baby's already died in essence, right? So that's that's a zone that Roe did not legalize. They don't understand that. Roe made that illegal in the last trimester. Post-birth is a third area, which is not a thing because it's post-birth. And that is why no one has ever done an abortion post-birth. It's literally not possible. You're talking about a different concept and it's never happened. Unless someone wanted to kill their baby for other reasons and then they just committed a murder, okay?
Right.
So please do not sound like lunatics, right-wingers, when you make up things that don't make any sense at all.
Now, in reality, abortions occurring at or after 21 weeks of gestation are incredibly rare. In fact, let's take a look at this pie chart that was put together by the Kaiser Family Foundation. And what it shows you is prior to the Dobbs decision, the vast majority of abortions actually occurred early in pregnancy, right? So according to the CDC's abortion surveillance data for 2021, the vast number of abortions, 96% occurred at or before 15 weeks gestation, while 3% occurred from 16 to 20 weeks gestation, and just 1% of abortions were performed at or after 21 weeks. And in those instances, again, it happened due to abnormalities of the fetus, severe abnormalities, or because the pregnancy was posing a threat to the mother's life. So what's interesting is obviously Trump's lies there trigger people on the left like myself because those lies are dangerous and it misinforms the public about the reality of late-term abortions. But there are people on the right who are real salty about Trump's statements as well because aside from his absurd attacks on Democrats, he feels that abortion should not be a national issue, that the topic should be left to the states to decide, which I also thought was really fascinating, Cenk, because yes, this has led to a lot of criticism from the far right, the so-called pro-life anti-abortion groups who want this to be a national issue, who want a national ban. But it is interesting that Trump on one hand is fear-mongering about, late-term abortions and abortions happening after the baby is born, but he feels that should be a state's issue.
Yeah, that's very interesting because think out the logic, guys. If you're a Trump fan, think out the logic. So he's saying, oh my God, they're executing the babies, but I'm gonna leave that to the states. Wait, if you told me, hey, they're executing, pick a random ethnicity, they're executing Asians in Tennessee, I'm not gonna say, well, it's a states' rights issue.
Insane.
So, okay, so you don't think they're executing babies. Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, right? Because then it would be a states' rights issue. I don't think it would be a states' right issue. If you told me they're actually doing post-birth abortions in any state or any city in America, I would say that is not a states' rights issue. They should be arrested. Whoever did that should definitely be arrested and tried for murder because it is murder. So this is all nonsense. But I want you to focus on one other thing that Ana just mentioned. Abortions past 21 weeks is only 1%. So they got rid of Roe v. Wade for 1% of the abortions?
No, they got rid of Roe v. Wade because groups like the Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life America group, they want to ban all abortions.
Exactly.
Okay, period. Yeah, and they're actually the saltiest toward Trump's unwillingness to fight for a national abortion ban, and understand why. First of all, I don't think Trump has any real connection or concern about abortions, right? This is all political maneuvering for him. And he understands how toxic this issue has been for Republicans. Ever since the reversal of Roe, the Republican Party has suffered electorally. There was supposed to be a red wave during the midterm elections. Part of the reason why there wasn't a red wave during the midterms is because voters were galvanized over the destruction of reproductive rights in America, and they turned up to vote and they voted for Democratic candidates over Republican candidates. And so the Republican Party knows how toxic this issue is. Trump is trying to do a balancing act here. And so his form of a balancing act is, let me just get off of it. It's a states' rights issue. I'm not gonna keep fighting for more restrictions on a national level for reproductive rights. With that said though, let me go to a statement from Susan B. Anthony, Pro-Life America. This is graphic 5. We are deeply disappointed in President Trump's position. Unborn children and their mothers deserve national protections and national advocacy from the brutality of the abortion industry. The Dobbs decision clearly allows both states and Congress to act. Well, Marjorie Dannenfelser, Congress is not gonna act on this because Republicans know it's a political liability. Even Sean Hannity on Fox News, not once but twice, urged Republicans to get the hell off this topic. He said, I'm very pro-life myself, but this is a political loser. We need to get off this immediately.
And as we showed you last week, there was a hilarious moment where Sean Hannity says that, and then a pollster he has on, it says, look, I think the Republicans should really be arguing for allowing abortions under 24 weeks, but definitely not past 24 weeks. That's Roe v. Wade. So now the Republicans are back to Roe v. Wade because they never meant it anyway. Sean Hannity doesn't care about abortions at all. He said, I'm pretty pro-life. Really? You're only pretty pro-life. I remember you being a zealot before because they were using it just to get tax cuts for the rich. Now it's hurting their ability to get tax cuts for the rich. Now all of a sudden they're like, yeah, Roe, we meant 24 weeks. Yeah, that's what we meant. So that's why Trump is trying to thread the needle here. So he wants to say, remember, Democrats are still baby killers. They're executing babies. But don't vote against me. Don't vote against me based on abortion. I'll let you have any abortion you want. I don't really care. But I get credit for changing the Supreme Court to 6-3 and overturning Roe v. Wade. So all the right wingers vote for me and everybody in the middle vote for me. You know what that is? A standard greasy politician. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. I really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.